Every year, the world's waters become more and more polluted. About 10% of the United States beaches fail to meet the federal benchmark for what constitutes safe swimming water. Approximately 40% of the lakes in the United States are too polluted for fishing, aquatic life, or swimming.
Overall, pollution is it's very harmful for all like the marine organisms and also the environment. There are a lot of different things that I have seen from my personal experience and sort of shape the way that I see things. So since I was on the rescue team, we did rescue a lot of animals and do necropsies on them. So a lot of times we would actually take in animals that had different like human pollution on them or in them. So a lot of times they had fishing line or ropes wrapped around their flippers or all of their limbs. They also had like plastic and they ingested certain things like hooks that they weren't supposed to. So definitely when it is left in the environment, it does impact them because they can't really tell the difference if it's food or if it's just trash. And it also gets wrapped around them pretty easily, so that definitely hurts them. And also when we go out and pick up these animals, a lot of times we do see pollution just like on the beaches or in the water, so that definitely is sort of an indication that it is all throughout the environment and it's even it basically affects everything in the environment. We all know that plastic sort of stays in the environment for a really long time, hundreds of years, but it does break down piece by piece, but that just means it basically gets into smaller little chunks, and this is still very hurtful to the environment because the fish, they can eat them and it actually gets like ingested in their body and it becomes incorporated in them. So eventually over time, like up the food chain, we are going to eat these organisms, and like the fish or shrimp or mollusks or anything like that, it does impact us because then we are eating the pollution, and that's definitely not good for our health in the long run. So I think it should be something that we should be worried about and that we should be actively trying to sort of fix the problem. So we do help conserve the environmental species and also the human race as well.
High levels of sewage, manure, and fertilizer trigger outbreaks of toxic algae and red tide that contaminate drinking water, force lengthy beach closings, foul rivers, lakes, and springs with green slime, and send vacationing beachgoers to emergency rooms. They cost Florida billions of dollars every single year.
So something that that everyone can do basically to help this issue is one thing is not using single-use plastics. So you guys can use like reusable cups or reusable utensils and straws. So that definitely helps cut down on it. And also just going on when you go like walk on the beach or walk in the environment that you pick up trash that you see. So it's basically like a cleanup every time you go out into the environment, and that definitely does help reduce the amount that is like directly in the environment. But those are just some of the different ways you can start off by helping. And I'm sure there are different other organizations in your area that do beach cleanups or do other sort of works with reducing plastic. So if you'd like to look more into it, you should just look at the different organizations in your area.
It is no secret this has affected the most direct areas to downtown, such as the Hillsborough River. If we do not act, there is no telling how far this pollution can spread and to what degree it could have an effect on our future environment.
Directly, we've seen pollution heading to the acidification of our ocean. The results have been twofold. One, we've seen coral dying, coral bleaching. We've seen that throughout the state. We've seen it down on the Keys. We've seen it throughout Palm Beach County. The second thing that acidification has done, indirectly, along with global warming, which are kind of hand in hand, we've seen about a 3-centimeter rise in sea level here in the Tampa Bay area over the past 25 years.
There have been programs started to help this issue, such as the Hillsborough Trash-Free Waters Program. It is basically a call to action for the community to help clean up the city's waters. Volunteer projects organized by the groups such as trash cleanups help rid of litter and debris.
Some of the direct implications of pollution on humans, obviously we had a big algae bloom in Fishkill last spring, last fall. obvious human interactions. People got sick. It cost us income for the restaurant owners and tourist attraction sorts of things. So, I mean, those are some of the real direct effects of pollution. Some of the indirect, long-term things, obviously decreased tourism, fewer people wanting to move into the area, causing economic impacts long-term.
Any call to action or any recommendations as far as what people could do to reduce their...
Well, anything we can do to reduce our carbon footprint is obviously going to be helpful. Reducing car emissions, using other modes of transportation, looking for more efficient fuel uses, and of course, one of my personal favorites is eating less meat. So, yeah, those are all things that I think people need to become real aware of.
This goes beyond our community. Water pollution affects so many people every day, worldwide.